Manchester together, City and United, singing one Ricky Hatton. He fought here. Blue Moon was his theme tune. Today, here inside the stadium, sung with an extra gusto. Phil Foden said in advance of the match, "My heart goes out to him. Today is for Ricky Hatton's family." As Dion Dublin quite rightly said in advance of the match, Ricky Hatton was a proper Manc.
Absolutely, absolutely. He loved the city loved him as well. So we're all going to miss you, kid. Rest in peace, sir.
And we could see Pep Guardiola with tears in his eyes, actually, when the cameras focused on him. So the derby match begins. Manchester City, Manchester United. City kicking off. Sky blue shirts, white shorts, blue socks. And Manchester United, red shirts, black shorts and socks. City inside the penalty area. Haaland with a shot right across the face of goal. Tight angle. Doku set it up for him. That wasn't far away from the big man.
Absolutely not. I mean, he just turns. He must be, 10 yards on the angle, right-hand side of the goal. Just flicks it round the corner. And you know what? I was watching him in the warm-up. He hit the target nearly every single time, Haaland. 3 chances to shoot on goal in the warm-up. Scored 3 goals. He's on fire. His movement there was brilliant.
So Manchester City and Manchester United both have made faltering starts to the season. Manchester City lost their last 2. First time that Pep Guardiola has started a season by losing 2 of his first 3. As BBC World Service listeners, join us on what is a damp afternoon in Manchester for the derby match. Manchester City 3 points from 3 matches. Manchester United 4 points from 3 matches, and only got that last gasp win against Burnley with the late penalty from Bruno Fernandes in their last match to record their first victory of the season. And of course they've already been knocked out of the League Cup by Grimsby Town. The ball is back with Donnarumma, who's got the ball at his feet, his first touch as Manchester City's goalkeeper. The new arrival, £26 million from Paris Saint-Germain. Still only 26 years old, but a huge presence in that penalty area, actually just walking out into the D to our left. Ball's played forward, but offside flag up against Manchester City, up against Reinders, and it's a free kick to Manchester United halfway inside their own half. Ran you through the Manchester City team just before the match. Manchester United then with Bayender in goal, and the new arrival, Senna Lamans, on the substitutes bench. 3 central defenders, Yoro De Ligt and Shaw. Mazraoui on the right, Dogu on the left, Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes in the middle. Casemiro's on the bench for this one, and then Mbeumo, Diallo and Benjamin Sesko making his first Premier League start for Manchester United, his 5th appearance, still looking for his first competitive goal for the club. And also Dion, Amad Diallo, as we suspected he would, starting on the left-hand side. So no Cunha, no Mason Mount, and Diallo is on the left going forward.
And I don't mind that, to be honest with you. I'd like to see that a little bit more. I think he'll feel like he's got more space when he receives the ball. He can have his heels on the touchline as well. So yeah, I don't mind that. I think if you get the ball in front of him, allow him one-on-ones, he'll get you some end product.
So Dion Dublin with us, Premier League Golden Boot winner, England international, and we're watching Manchester United with the ball in the central third. They played each other 3 times last season in the Premier League. Manchester United took 4 points off Manchester City. A rather drab 0-0 draw towards the end of the season at Old Trafford. And if you remember, Manchester United won here in what was only Ruben Amorim's 7th match in charge. It looked it was going City's way, who were winning 1-0 in the 88th minute, and United ended up winning it by 2-1 with a winner from Amad Diallo. Now a chance for a shot from Manchester United from Sesko on the edge of the D, and Donnarumma diving to his right makes his first save as a Manchester City player. Yeah,
I think he knew the cameras were on him today. Donnarumma didn't really need to dive for that one. I mean, it's a save. You know what he does as well? He dives to his right and he sort of parries it down for himself, so he can get up and pick it up. Very cool and calm.
Yeah, and City trying to play it out from the back have lost possession, and Burma with the cross, and Donnarumma comes and gets a big right arm to it. Got his fist to punch it away over the head of Amad Diallo. That's an absolute mismatch. Foden now starting for the first time for Manchester City this season. His ball forward, Yoro's trying to see it over the dead ball line. Doku with a challenge from behind. Referee Anthony Taylor says he was successful, the Manchester United defender. It's a goal kick, it's 0-0.
Yeah, it was the correct ball from Phil Foden. He's in the centre of the pitch. He tries to put Doku in down the left-hand side. But Yoro's got some pace as well, so I think when you are playing the ball out to Doku, get it to his feet, allow him to take his man on. Yoro won't mind those ones over the top at all.
Ruben Amorim, see him for the first time since the start of the match. A very tight pair of trousers, sandy-coloured trousers, Ruben Amorim, bomber jacket, and eventually Bayinda takes the goal kick. That seemed to take an age. Over the halfway line, it's headed back, comes to Husanov, the Uzbek at right back, and then De Ligt's header forward just takes the ball out of play for a throw into Manchester City, halfway inside their own half. So 0-0 here after Liverpool. If you missed it in our earlier Premier League commentary today, Liverpool winning with a penalty in the 5th minute of added time at Turf Moor against Burnley. Salah the goal scorer. Liverpool the only team with 4 wins out of 4 in the Premier League this season, the champions. It's out of play for another throw on the halfway line. Pep Guardiola all in black. So Ruben Amorim had the edge over Pep Guardiola last season, as I say, taking 4 points. And remember, he did win 4-1 when he was still coach of Sporting in the Champions League, in the league phase, when there was that interim period. As Bayinda passes the ball out, De Ligt then had to scrape it away. That was uncertain. However, Manchester United making progress. Amad Diallo in the centre circle, but his pass somehow runs away from him, Burmo, and out of play for a throw.
I mean, that's an awful pass. Honestly, Amad there in the middle of the park. He's in the centre of City's half. He just has to roll it into Mbomo's path, and he puts too much on it. That's a really good chance for Man United to create something. And they're the last-ditch passes that you have to get right.
0-0. And it's a throw-in for Manchester City. We do have a choice of listening for you, as we so often do. And it's a good one as well right now. The playoff at Wentworth is on Sports Extra 3. So that will be coming to the boil. We'll bring you news of that when it's over. And also the England-Scotland quarter-final at the Women's Rugby Union World Cup is on Sports Extra right now, with England leading by 14 points to 3 at Ashton Gate. France have already won through. Oh, Bayinda, that's a very heavy touch, and he's just able to recover his ground and was able to dive into the challenge on Haaland. I thought he was going to take Haaland out there after his initial. I mean, it bounced off him as he tried to control it. And Manchester United and Bayinda are very fortunate.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really poor touch, I've got to say. You've got to, when the ball's coming to you, especially on your good foot, you've got to make sure you take the pace out of it. Don't give yourself, I mean, it's a terrible touch. You just got to go first time, as he has done there. Don't risk it.
That was right off the Sunday morning pitch, wasn't it? That
yes.
touch.
And this is not a Sunday morning pitch, let me tell you.
No, it's a Sunday afternoon. Sesko passing the ball through, but that's intercepted by Gvardiol. And there has been another goal at Rugby Park. Kenny Crawford.
84 minutes and the hosts are level. It was a wonderful goal, corner by Greg Kelty, and a bullet header by David Watson into the net past Kasper Schmeichel. Kilmarnock 1, Celtic 1, 6 minutes of normal time to go.
So 1-1 after Rangers' defeat yesterday. That was one of the stories of the day. And a try at Ashton Gate, Maz Faruqi.
Try number 3 for England, the first for the backs. Nice and simple for Abby Dow to touch down on the right, with a big overlap for England as they stretch the pitch, stretch Scotland. But the conversion was missed. So it's England 19, Scotland 3, 33 minutes played here, John.
Oh, nice ball from Mburmo across from the right-hand side. But Dionio waving the imaginary flag.
Yes, he would have been offside there, John. I mean, the ball was far too slow for him anyway, and he just ran offside, so that wouldn't have counted anyway.
Yep, 0-0 it is. And Luke Shaw in possession. It's yet to get going. There've been certainly been some mistakes, haven't there? Some poor passes,
yeah, sloppy,
errors.
Bit of sloppy passing, mainly from City at this present time. One from Amad in the centre of the pitch. Keeper as well, bad touch.
Yeah, and then there's a foul on Mazraoui on the far side. Mazraoui coming in to start for Manchester United for the first time this season, and both teams as well, with, even at this stage of the season, lengthy injury lists, as Pep Guardiola was highlighting before the weekend. So there's no John Stones today, no Marmoush, and he actually has a couple of teenagers on the bench. Divine Mukasa and Stephen Umfuni are both on the bench for Manchester City for the first time, 18 and 17 years old respectively. He has Dogu down the left-hand side. He just got a little tug back from Bernardo Silva. That's a free kick for Manchester United on the left, and Anthony Taylor trots across to him, wagging his finger at the Manchester City captain.
Yeah, I mean, Bernardo Silva there, I mean, he's in his own right back spot, but Dogu is a lot taller, a lot stronger, just muscles him off the ball, and Bernardo Silva has to do something to stop him advancing into the box, and he just gives a free kick away in a really dangerous area down the left-hand side for Man United, 5 yards away from the corner of the box, and Mbeumo stands over it.
Yep, Bryan Mbeumo standing with his hands on his hips, his black socks halfway down his calves, and then he steps away, shaven-headed and bearded, and Mbeumo waiting to deliver this in with his left foot. Anthony Taylor's gone running across there in between the two lines. Manchester City, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players in a line, and also two other City players just next to that line inside their penalty area. In it comes, half-headed away by Dogu, who's trying to glance it on but actually just headed it down, and Husanov was able to clear it away, and then it's played further away by Foden. This is for Bernardo Silva to chase, but Ugate's done well in there when Ugarte checks back near the touchline on the far side, on the halfway line. Amad Diallo does the full 360, gives it to Ugarte. Attempted pass forward from the Uruguayan, but Manchester City have got it back halfway inside their own box. Phil Foden playing it forward, and now Nico O'Reilly starting for the first time for Manchester City this season as the left back, as City come forward, but Manchester United are quickly back into position. 10 minutes played, 5 live in the World Service from the BBC. Husanov under pressure from Mbeumo, and that is out of play for what is given as a Manchester United throw, which is being heavily disputed by the City players, and Anthony Taylor's actually said, actually it is a throw
yes.
to Manchester City. I thought that was never supposed to work.
It was clear as anything it was a City throw. The linesman got that one wrong, I think, on that occasion.
And Anthony Taylor had a view, so therefore gave the decision. Here's Doku, Jeremy Doku, hugging the white line on the far side, and then playing it into O'Reilly, and then back towards the halfway line. So 0-0 it is. Manchester City, who will start their Champions League campaign on Thursday night, when Kevin De Bruyne comes here out with Napoli. What a match that is. There are some matches this week, as you and I know, Dion.
Absolutely.
We'll be off to St James's Park together on Thursday night, but the Manchester City-Napoli match will be on Sports Extra, Newcastle-Barcelona on 5 Live, but all of the matches will be covered by us. Diaz just angling the ball back to Gvardiol, who scored the opening goal in the derby match here last season against Manchester United that saw City lead for so long in that game. Here is Bernardo Silva down the right-hand side, gives it back to Husanov. Now Rodri starting for Manchester City here at the Etihad for the first time this season. Bernardo Silva curling it in, and then Foden back to Reinders, who got that all wrong. He was looking to play a cushion pass, laying it off on the edge of the area, massively overhit it out of play for a throw into Manchester United.
I mean, Reinders has to go for goal there. It's a lovely little layoff from Foden just inside the box onto his left foot. He's obviously not comfortable on his left foot. His pass was awful, but he's got to swing his left foot. He's only 20 yards on the angle. Have a go at goal, see what the keeper's got. That's half a chance as well for City.
Yeah, Pep Guardiola turned away in anguish there, thought about it, looked at the ground, and then came and walked quickly to the edge of his coaching area, clapping his hands above his head, a little bit like Freddie Mercury used to do. As Manchester City have the ball on the halfway line, it is attempted to juggle and keep it in by Amad Diallo, who's unsuccessful, and it's out of play for a throw-in to Manchester City on the halfway line. They featured it last night at the Proms last night. Queen, Dion, you didn't see that, did you? Special performance of Bohemian Rhapsody.
I didn't, actually. I had a lovely Chinese last night, so sorry about that.
Yeah. not the last night of the Chinese. There will be more of those, I think. But it's well worth looking up, actually. You can do that. You can do that tonight, your leisure.
Thank you.
Here's Donnarumma playing it out into the left back position. Gvardiol Gvardiol long and forward, left-footed. Doku miscontrols it, then Doku clatters into Yoro, the ball bounces free, no free kick in there, and then eventually Anthony Taylor does blow his whistle. It is a free kick to Manchester City. I think he was waiting to see if an advantage would develop. Rodri then tight in and quickly into him. Mazraoui wins the ball back from the youngster, sets off Amad Diallo, who's currently on the right hand side, back to Ugarte. Ugarte curls it forward, and Burmo might have been in an offside position. In any case, he overhit it, and Donnarumma was able to lumber to his left and pick it up.
Yeah, and Bomu there, he sort of left, the third man run, we call that one. It just got rolled back to Ugarte. The ball was the right ball, just overhit it. Donnarumma's starting position though, he knows exactly what's going on. Donnarumma 10-15 yards off his line, just in case that ball's heavy.
And then Manchester City win another free kick just inside their own half. I can tell you the news from Trent Bridge, unsurprisingly, the T20 has been abandoned, so England and South Africa draw that particular series. Manchester City coming forward. A little note today as the ball's played forward. Haaland racing onto this. Goalkeeper Bayindir out of his penalty area into the full-back position, gets there first. Now the referee could have brought that back for the foul on Phil Foden, but clearly feels that just too long has elapsed there, and it's out of play for a throw into Manchester City.
Yeah, I think that's just a bit of a lunge off De Ligt there. There's no physical contact. I think Foden knows that he's on the way to get clattered, and he rides the challenge, and Haaland couldn't get on the end of it.
Throw-in. Reinders goes through the challenge against Luke Shaw, but there was the covering challenge there from Yoro, who was able to take it out into the right-back position and clear it away. Just switched on to us on 5 Live. Manchester City 0, Manchester United 0, and we've played 15 minutes, and in truth it's been rather scrappy, which is summed up by Rodri losing possession. Ugarte then Bruno Fernandes is able to roll it out to Dogu, his cross, Amad Diallo goes for a spectacular, slices it straight up in the air. Bruno Fernandes heads it across the edge of the penalty area, and Manchester City are able to get away with it and take it away, and Doku is upended by Mazraoui, and that's a free kick to Manchester City halfway inside their own half. If Amad Diallo had scored with that would have been an absolute rip snorter.
It would have been special, that one. It's a lovely ball. I mean, the weight of pass as well from Bruno Fernandes, just out to his left shoulder. Dorgu's flying down the left hand side, and he just leaves it in the air. Amad's coming on the right hand side. He just gets too close to it. He just can't sort his feet out. It would have been something special. I'm pretty sure Juan Mata scored a goal like that once.
Juan Mata.
What a strike that was.
Yeah, and it would have been up there, Garnacho. And,
yes.
Wayne Rooney, of course. Or as Mike Ingham said that day, Wayne Rooney. Oh, here is Foden. Left-footed ball out to the right-hand side. Bernardo Silva actually on the right and Foden more central. I thought it might have been the other way around today. Still Bernardo Silva working it away from Dogu back to Husanov. Rodri turns, faces the play, the number 16 Ballon d'Or winner. Now Doku, what a run, what a wriggle, then crosses it, gets it back, second chance, headed in! That's the sound of Manchester City taking the lead in the derby, and Phil Foden, the Manchester City youngster, scores the goal, points to the badge, grabs his shirt. Great scenes around the stadium here. Phil Foden, who said they'd be thinking of Ricky Hatton today, and he's the one who breaks the deadlock and gives City the lead. Manchester City 1, Manchester United 0.
No, that's great work, I've got to say. I mean, Rodri there, centre of the park, he gets the ball off his teammate a couple of times, and he just looks to pot it through. I mean, Doku's taken up a lovely position just in front where the left side centre half should be. His first cross kind of gets blocked, and then he has the great balance to get the rebound off the legs of the Man United player to cross it again into an area where Phil Foden has gone from the edge of the box to the penalty spot, and he just heads it into the far corner, just guides it, doesn't need too much power on it. Keeper's got no chance, all about Doku, that is.
And there's the buzz around the Etihad Stadium for Phil Foden, scoring his first goal of the season on his first start. Came on as a substitute in the Tottenham match here. Was not included in the England squad, but there was a fitness aspect to that, but now in the team. And remember when he scored the hat-trick here in the 6-3, Foden and Haaland both scored hat-tricks that day, as Foden now herring around like an absolute dervish, dives in on a challenge, the ball out of play, and it's out of play off the Manchester United man, and Foden is having to be calmed down by Reinders. He is still very fired up, Dion.
Yeah, he is, and I don't know what's happened there. There must be something off the ball or some physical contact on Foden he's not happy with, but he's arguing with a lot of Man United players, and Reinders has just grabbed him and slowed him down, saying calm down a little bit.
Yeah, so the ball out of play for a throw into Manchester City. The rain absolutely pouring down. Now Manchester City leading Manchester United by 1-0, and another late goal at Kilmarnock, Kenny Crawford.
Yeah, the rain pouring down here as well, but it's Celtic fans who are happy because Kelechi Iheanacho, a former Manchester City striker, has scored a 96th minute penalty into the top left-hand corner after a VAR handball call to make sure Celtic are going to take all 3 points and go back to the top of the Premiership. It's Kilmarnock 1, Celtic 2.
So we'll let you know when the final whistle goes. Here in Manchester, Erling Haaland marauding down the right, but Manchester United were able to play it out off him for a throw-in, level with the edge of their own penalty area. Half-time in the quarter-final in Bristol, Maz Faruqi.
Yeah, and after that bright start under the grey clouds for Scotland, it's then been one-way traffic. 4 England tries, 2 for Kelsey Clifford, some monster England scrums. We thought their forwards would give them a big advantage, England, and that has proved to be the case so far. At half-time in this 4th quarter-final, England 26, Scotland 3.
And it has finished Kilmarnock 1, Celtic 2, so a very late winner for Celtic after they'd been pegged back. The atmosphere's changed here inside the Etihad Stadium with that Manchester City goal, that Phil Foden goal in the 18th minute. News coming in as well from Wentworth that the playoff has been won by Alex Noren. So the man who won the British Masters just a few weeks ago has won the PGA Championship, hasn't he, Ian Carter?
Yes, he has. He's done it, John, with a birdie at the first extra hole. Brilliant chip and just a mere tap-in for a victory that puts him in fine fettle for his vice-captaincy duties in the Ryder Cup. I bet Luke Donald wishes he was playing right now, because that's a big title. Noren the champion here.
Yes, it is. One of the biggest, the BMW PGA Championship. And 2 weeks today, it'll be the singles. On Ryder Cup Sunday, you'll hear the whole thing with us on 5 Live on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the build-up throughout the course of that week, live from Bethpage near New York, and on BBC Sounds on your app at the moment. There is already a preview of that. If you search Ryder Cup, you'll find it with Colin Montgomery from the week. Manchester City with a throw into the penalty area. Haaland now, very tight area. In comes the challenge from De Ligt to put it behind for a Manchester City corner. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like the game's actually calmed down yet. It's very frantic. Both sides haven't got a lot of space to play their football in. There's a few little triangles being played in the corners, but they're getting broken down by the defences. But City have been on top. They've had the better chances. They've got the goal. And you know what I've got to say? I'll say it again. Haaland is on it today.
He certainly is. 6 goals he's scored against Manchester United for Manchester City so far. He looks in the mood for more.
He does.
Corner then for Manchester City. Foden plays it in, and that's headed away on the edge of the 6-yard area by the leaping De Ligt, and back it goes from Bernardo Silva all the way to Donnarumma. The rain absolutely tippling down. I must say, it kind of feels fitting today with that dreadful news about Ricky Hatton, that it is a day of pouring rain in Manchester, the day that Manchester has lost one of its favourite sons. Husanov playing the ball back to the bearded Donnarumma, who actually, it's a point worth making. James Trafford is actually taller than Donnarumma. Trafford's 6'6", Donnarumma is 6'5". And on the subject of goalkeepers, incidentally, and this very much a side note, that in Turkey today, Ederson and Onana are both playing against each other. Here's Doku down the left-hand side into the penalty area, played across, chance in the middle, that's blocked by Bayunder, and then it bounces out and he's able to gather it. Did well there. Chance for Reinders, 10 yards out, just about the middle of the goal. He hit it straight at the goalkeeper, who was able to pat it down and then leap on the loose ball.
I mean, Doku again down that left-hand side. He does that little, what I like to call a little shake and bake there. Defender doesn't have no idea what he's going to do. He just plays it square across. Ryander's snapshot by in the right place at the right time. But I'm surprised on his heels. Haaland was on his heels for the little bits there.
Shake and bake?
Shake and bake, yes. Yeah. Shake and bake. You can have that one, John.
Not shake and vac.
Not this time, no.
Yeah. And bring the
freshness back. We are of that age, John.
We are, very much so. But not with shake and bake, of course. Manchester City 1, Manchester United 0. A generation of youngsters listening in the car with their parents will be saying, what are they on about, Dad? Here's Doku to O'Reilly, and O'Reilly just comes back into his own half. So Manchester City leading through the Phil Foden goal, but it was all about that Doku run, wasn't it? And not from the left-hand side, it was a run through the inside right position, wasn't it? But it had a lovely twist of the hips in it, didn't it? A lovely wiggle as he took it on into the box, looked for the cross, blocked back to him, but then he got it absolutely right for the arriving Foden to head in from round about 10 yards past Bayinda. And now Manchester City come again. A little touch from Haaland, took it past Euro in the centre circle. Haaland still going, gives it to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva back across, bounces off Haaland, bounces down, and Mazraoui is able to bring it down and volley it away to safety.
Yeah, there's been a couple of occasions where they've just made the wrong decisions in the final third. I mean, Haaland's going straight down the centre of the pitch. He's approaching Man United's D, and I'm thinking, just put on your left foot and strike it. Puts Bernardo Silva in down the right-hand side. Bernardo Silva tries to put him back in. Somebody make a decision, get a shot on goal.
1-0 to Manchester City. 25 minutes played, and the ball with Husanov, who passes it forward to Bernardo Silva, who's holding off Doku, and eventually it is the left wing back, the Manchester United left wing back, Patrick Doku, who's able to pop the ball out of play for a throw into Manchester City. Husanov, who's one of the few players who's not away on international duty. Uzbekistan have already got their place at the World Cup final sorted out, so they didn't have a match in this international window. Husanov gets it back, lifts it into the middle, Foden heads it forward, and then Reinders strong, Haaland with a lovely little touch to Foden. Oh, what a play that is from Foden. And unfortunately, Doku backing away, the ball just swerved past him, but the touch from Foden, initial touch, and then without the ball hitting the ground, volleyed it over there to Doku.
I mean, it looked beautiful. Doku was a little bit too narrow. He needed to be right on that far left wing. But I think Doku was thinking, right, if this gets played in behind Euro, I've got to be in a half position.
Another nice touch from Haaland centrally. Manchester United, though, win it back, but then Mbeumo is challenged and it's out of play for a throw into Manchester United on the far side.
Hasn't really settled down at all, has it? There hasn't been pattern of play at all. It's very, you have it, we have it. Mainly City having the ball, granted, but nobody's really sort of put their foot on the ball and taken charge of the game.
Ball in the central third of the field, played forward for Mbeumo, who gets away down that right-hand side, and he's got a bit of space as well. Red shirts arriving, Mbeumo with a cross, but that's headed away in the middle by Ruben Dias. Got up well, headed it away firmly, and Manchester United again on the halfway line in possession. Luke Shaw to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes scored the equaliser from the penalty spot here last season. Bruno Fernandes scored in the last 3 Manchester United wins against Manchester City. Here is Mbeumo, Mazraoui on the right-hand side. Mazraoui plays it in field. Manchester City win back possession. Reinders into the centre circle, but in comes Ugarte with the challenge, and Manchester United have got it back, and Ugarte goes for a pass over the top, but Mbeumo takes it down. He's offside, he shoots wide anyway, and then the offside flag goes up, and even I could spot that he was offside there, Dale.
Yeah, I mean, the pass was far too slow. I mean, he's got to be, what is he, 2 yards off? Let's have a look at this. He's just offside, maybe half a body offside, but you should know better. You've got a timing run, you can see down the line.
So it is a free kick to Manchester City, halfway inside their own half. So Manchester City coming into this, having lost at Brighton, lost here against Tottenham, but 1-0 up with that Phil Foden header. And again, after the season that he had last season, Phil Foden, I think Manchester City supporters, England fans are hoping that he returns to his true form this season. It was fits and starts last season, and Pep Guardiola in this match giving him a central role already on the score sheet, and here he is playing an important part in this move as well, as City come forward through the middle, then play it out towards the left hand side. Here is Doku, the man who set up their goal, playing the ball across the halfway line. Husanov now arrives, the number 45. Husanov angles the ball back to Ruben Diaz. Signed a new contract with Manchester City last month. Ruben Diaz forward to Rodri, who missed almost the whole of last season and clearly, obviously, was missed, the number 16. They went 53 Premier League matches in which he played without defeat. But he was on the field for both of the recent defeats. Here's Foden, and then as Manchester United break forward, in comes Husanov, then into another challenge with Amad Diallo, and the ball spins away out of play for a throw-in off the Manchester United man for Manchester City.
I mean, if City can get that ball out to Doku just that little bit more, and Doku does what he does and he drops his left shoulder, comes on his right, there's a massive mismatch at the far post, because Luke Shaw's obviously playing left of that sort of three when they are out of possession, and I mean, Haaland's just put into the far post. It's going to be a mismatch.
Half an hour played. There's a cheery boo for Xerxes and Maguire as they head down the touchline to warm up next to the corner flag. One or two gestures towards them as well. I don't think they're waving at them.
No, I don't think so either, John, to be honest with you. Harry Maguire, water off a duck's back.
Yeah, absolutely. Throw into Manchester City, 7 or 8 yards inside their own half. Husanov still waiting to take this, which he does now, up the line. Shaw heads it forward. Dogu plays the ball infield. Bruno Fernandes, then back to Yoro, and then the crowder onto Bayinda. Everyone knows the story there. Bayinda into the centre circle. Sesko lays that off. Had an early chance, Sesko, but not since. Bruno Fernandes now to Mazraoui, looking for the ball forward to Mbeumo, and the number 19 then takes the ball and gives it back to Bruno Fernandes, takes one touch, then plays it back to Mbeumo. Mbeumo on the right flank, in it comes towards the back post, headed across goal by Dogu, but Manchester City are able to clear it through Reinders on the edge of his own penalty area. 1-0 Manchester City lead. Manchester City set out this season hoping to regain the Premier League title, but this start, even though we're really only not even at the middle of September yet, means that they've already got a job on their hands. De Ligt playing it out to the right hand side, particularly with Liverpool starting in the way that they have. We'll hear more from Liverpool, by the way, or Burnley to be precise, after their 1-0 defeat at half time in this match. Also Southampton 0, Portsmouth 0 in the midday kickoff. And if you've just joined us, Celtic won with a very late goal against Kilmarnock. Ball played forward. Here is Sesko inside the penalty area, takes it on, and goalkeeper Donnarumma is able to come out, narrow the angle and block it behind. I was waiting to see if the flag would come up against Sesko, and I think it has it?
No, I don't think it was off. Well, it's definitely not offside from what we can see. A handball, maybe.
It's given us a handball, isn't it? It bounces off.
Well, close one, very close one. I mean, the keeper again, Donnarumma's in a great position, so thwarts it anyway.
Then, as he made the save, it then bounced onto his hand.
Okay.
After that, so it was.
It's a good run though. It's a great run in behind. Lovely ball as well. Split the two centre halves. That none of them knew which one to stay with him. But that's what he needs. Give him something to get onto the end of. He's quite a strong runner when he started.
Yeah, Dion, what would your advice be? You know, he is a young man, 22 years old, Slovenian international. Played in both of their matches, didn't score in those matches either. You know, trying to make his way as a Manchester United centre forward. You can say that in a minute, because the ball is pumped forward by Bruno Fernandes to Amad Diallo, who went down rather easily as Husanov came in. Didn't see much contact there. I mean, they were moving at pace, but Dogu went down and has won that free kick, and City don't like it.
Yeah, but I mean, Husanov doesn't have to do that. I mean, he just puts his left shoulder in Dorgu's back. Dorgu's actually waiting. The ball bounces very high down the left-hand side, and he's just waiting for contact. As soon as he gets the contact, he's over. This is in a really dangerous situation now for City. Unnecessary, but you know, United have got to put good quality in here. and go and attack it.
Well, they've got the man who can do that, Bruno Fernandes, who is standing over the ball, waiting to take this free kick from near the left corner of the penalty area. Bruno Fernandes, who's created more chances in the Premier League this season than anyone else over the course of the first 3 rounds of matches. Bruno Fernandes waiting, one foot in front of the other. 2-man wall from this angle on the left-hand side. Bruno Fernandes waits, his shirt absolutely plastered to his body by the rain. Raises his right arm. Then Bruno Fernandes curls in the free kick, which lands in the midriff of Gianluigi Donnarumma, who's able to catch that so easily. Looked like he was catching a cricket ball, dropping into his palms, and then bowls it out, and Rodri wins a free kick.
I mean, the ball in from Bruno Fernandes, I mean, it wasn't perfect, but it's going across the eye line of Donnarumma, and I'm thinking you've got to get across the eye line. You've got to get red shirts across the keeper's eye line just so it's not an easy catch. I mean, Dorgu doesn't move. He should have gone across him as well, and Bomu was there. Help the taker out a little bit.
Yeah, just needed a little touch.
That's all it was.
Just overhit, wasn't it? What about Sesko then? What advice would you say to him?
I would say in your the early part of your Manchester United career, be very, very secure with the ball. Allow your midfield players to make sure they can go past the opposing midfield player. Be secure, I would say, like this.
Well, here he is.
That's what I would
plays it
say.
through, but he plays it behind Mbeumo, so City have got it back.
Yeah, be strong, get the ball into your feet, drop it back into your midfield players, get a new position. Very old school information. However, he seems to be that kind of player anyway. So just keep it simple, get yourself in the box, be a nuisance, be horrible to play against.
Could do with a goal though. That is stating the obvious. A bit like Volta-Mata yesterday scoring on
Absolutely. I think I
debut for
just
Newcastle.
described myself there, John.
I think the funny thing that I'm not sure I've ever heard properly explained was why it was he was number 10 to take the penalty in the penalty shootout at Grimsby as the ball was played towards the halfway line. Here is Sesko grappling with Diaz, 2 of them very tight together. It's a good contest that, isn't it? Out of play, throw-in to Manchester City, which Rodri plays forward. Rodri, who's given the ball away on a number of occasions actually in this match so far. With less than 10 minutes to go of the first half, Manchester United have got it back. Here's Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, again, as that left-sided central defender. Dorgu turns, plays it back to Luke Shaw. I thought he might have been in the England squad, but not. And of course, he's missed so much of the last 2 seasons. Shaw with a long pass to the right-hand side that was lost by Mbeumo, and now Doku, another lovely little swivel of the hips from him to take it past Bruno Fernandes, but then it's won back by Ugarte, but then won back by Manchester City, and now Rodri is going to take it on, and he just needed to slip that ball through to Bernardo Silva on the edge of the area. It was intercepted by Shaw, and Manchester United get it away.
Yeah, I mean, Rodri's sights, he's getting himself into some great positions. He's had a lot of the ball. His sights aren't quite set yet into this season, and when they are, he'll be making those passes. I mean, he was in Bernardo Silva, but Rodri, which is strange to say, he got it wrong.
The reason given at Grimsby was that Sesko had cramp, so therefore did not take a penalty until number 10.
No excuse. No excuse, I'm afraid.
Still, great night for Grimsby Town. First time Manchester United have been knocked out of a cup by a team from the 4th tier. Here's Foden, drags the ball back. They enjoyed that, the home supporters. And then Reinders to Bernardo Silva, who passes it back to Husanov. It's not been the greatest half by any means, but Manchester City won't be complaining about that. It's all about, as Tiger Woods used to say, this match, with the start that they've made, it's all about the W, as the ball is played to the right-hand side. Taken down by Bernardo Silva, lovely close control from him. Dorgu went with him and stabs it out of play for a throw-in level with the edge of the Manchester United penalty area. So yes, stay tuned, we'll have more. We've already heard live from Andy Robertson. I guess we'll hear from Arne Slot at half-time, throwing into the Manchester United penalty area. That is stabbed away to safety on the edge of the box by Mazraoui, who is starting a match for the first time this season. He's had an injury, so he wasn't in the Morocco squad that has clinched its place at the World Cup next summer. Here's Reinders, now to Doku on the left wing. up against Mazraoui. Luke Shaw's gone across there as well. Doku taking on Mazraoui, but then checks back and gives it to Reinders. And Reinders moves in field and then just chops it out to the left-hand side. Played in, Reinders on the stretch. Phil Foden, the goal scorer. Reinders through to the edge of the area. O'Reilly turns and shoots on the edge of the box, but rather wildly actually. Could have slipped it forward to Haaland. I think that's what he was thinking as well. But shot for goal, wide and high, goal kick.
Absolutely. I mean, Reinders actually, he's in the middle of Man United's half. It's a lovely run from Haaland from the centre of the box, edge of the box, to his right-hand side. And the ball was meant for him, but O'Reilly just stuck a leg out, controlled it, and had a snapshot over the bar. Lovely run again from Haaland.
Yes, we will hear from Arne Slot and Scott Parker at half-time after Liverpool's 1-0 win there, after the handball from Hannibal Mejbri, the former Manchester United man, that led to the penalty scored by Salah. Manchester City leading 1-0. 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC. 5 Live's Premier League Sunday, with Mazraoui on the ball on the halfway line. Infield to Ugarte. He was playing in Santiago the other night, Wednesday night, Manuel Ugarte for Uruguay, and then 0-0 draw against Chile. As the ball's played out to the right-hand side, won back by Mazraoui. Mazraoui dinked it in field, but that is chipped away very coolly by Rodri. Then Diaz volleys it. Haaland heads it down in the centre circle. Bernardo Silva put under pressure by Dogu, who comes out with the ball against the Manchester City captain. Dogu, as Manchester United now come forward. Bruno Fernandes for Amad Diallo. In slides Husanov and is able to win the ball cleanly. Excellent tackle by the right back, as he is today. And then Foden overhits the pass forward for Doku, who's waving his arms around. And Pep Guardiola puts his thumb and forefinger together on the bridge of his nose. Manchester City 1, Manchester United 0. Back to the quarter-final in the World Cup. Maz Faruqi.
Try number 5 for England, another for the forwards, Amy Cockayne this time. England have spent the 7 minutes we've played of this second half camped on Scotland's try line. They're in complete control. England 33, Scotland 3.
And let me tell you as well, in the Super League, Huddersfield have, as expected, won against bottom of the table Salford 22-8. Manchester United forward Amad Diallo into the penalty area. He's been forced by Husanov, who's very tight on him. He's able to get a foot in on it, but that gave it back to Mazraoui. Square across here to the left-hand side for Manchester United, to Shaw, who plays it back in field to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes chips it forward down the left-hand side. Dogu back to Shaw. Shaw's ball in towards the back post, but that headed away by O'Reilly for Manchester City. Good distance on that. Manchester United with 3 minutes of the first half to go, searching for the equaliser. Bruno Fernandes slips this pass forward to the edge of the penalty area. Doku challenging for it. That is given as a free kick for the challenge by Mazraoui on, and free kick to Manchester City. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, I'm watching City. I mean, Bernardo Silva there, he's in the right back spot. Doku's gone all the way back to help his teammates out as well, O'Reilly. So they're really getting deep. They're getting players back, City. But when they break at such pace as well. They're leaving Haaland up there on his own. And they're getting into a really, really tight sort of 4-5-1 at this present time. And it's working for them.
1-0 to Manchester City. Lots of Champions League coverage for you then this week. The exclusive Champions League week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And there'll be an early start on Tuesday when Alistair Bruce Ball and Paul Robinson will be in northern Spain for Athletic Bilbao against Arsenal. So that's a 5:45 kickoff, so it'll be an early finish to drive. But also, as well as the Champions League this week, we will have full coverage of the state visit by the President of the United States. 5 Live, the only place you'll get Champions League commentary and coverage of Donald Trump's visit. Here is Doku down in the full-back position, played away by Manchester United. Rodri tries to win it back. City are on the ball. Here is Rodri, plays it all the way along the edge of the penalty area, slightly behind Bernardo Silva, but he's able to take possession of the ball. Still going, ball across to the edge of the area. Heavy touch by Foden, which carries it out towards the right-hand side, but Manchester City still in possession. The rain has eased, by the way, but it was a very, very heavy shower for 5 or 6 minutes during the middle of the half. Back it comes to Husanov. And Husanov now is going to go back into the centre circle and then all the way back towards the edge of the penalty area. very quiet, I would say, for a Manchester derby. That the match has not been scintillating by any means. Pass forward. Amad Diallo allows that to run for Dorgu. Dorgu goes for the cross, but into the chest of Husanov, and the ball ricochets behind for a corner to Manchester United.
Yeah, he's done well down the left-hand side, Dorgu. He's been very positive, trying to get forward at every opportunity, because when Bruno Fernandes has that ball in the middle of the park, he's always looking for that diagonal, and he's always there as well. Amad as well has been helping him out. This could be interesting.
Some more light booing for Bruno Fernandes as he picks the ball up close to the Manchester City fans. Behind the goal there, next to all of the long lenses of the photographers who have got their lenses trained on the penalty area. Bruno Fernandes staring there as well. Lots of movement inside the box, lots of wrestling going on, and actually Anthony Taylor, unsurprisingly, blows his whistle and says, hang on a minute, I'm going to sort this out. And he walks purposefully forward, Anthony Taylor, and he points at Husanov, who looks amusingly innocent. He genuinely did look like a schoolboy being ticked off there, didn't he? So yes sir. Corner then. Bruno Fernandes ready to take it now. United players all beyond the far post. Still waiting. Up he comes. Delivery there. Donnarumma comes, gets a good fist on that powerful punch. Uppercut. 1 minute of added time at the end of this first half. We're into it now. Manchester United press again, looking for a late equaliser, and then Dorgu goes down and wins the free kick against Gvardiol in the left full-back position. So there will be one final chance for Manchester United to equalise from a set piece.
Yeah, I mean, Dorgu actually goes to stop it. It's on the outside of him down the right-hand side. He goes to stop it with his left, but then completely fakes and he goes again. Gvardiol's committed to the challenge. This is an even better position than a corner. Lots of options for Man United here. Edge of the box, they're going to whip it in swinger.
Manchester City leading by 1-0. This will be the last action, I think, of the first period. And Burmo with the left-footed in-swinging free kick from the Manchester City left-back area. So again, Anthony Taylor just moving in amongst the bodies there, just with little bits of advice here and there. So we're ready now, and Burmo strikes it in. Haaland is able to head it away from Manchester City, and there is the half-time whistle, and there is the satisfied applause from the Manchester City supporters who have seen their team score the only goal of the first half from the head of Phil Foden, Dion Dublin.
Yeah, I mean, it's not been a great first 45, 48 minutes, but City have just taken that one chance that they've had. Haaland's looked busy up top. I mean, Sesko's got to do a little bit more for me up down the middle for Man United, as in being secure and getting himself in the box and being a nuisance. But Pep Guardiola, he won't be happy with the performance, but he'll be happy with the result so far.
Yeah, stadium came to life certainly when Phil Foden scored the goal, but the atmosphere has been subdued, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if that is as a result of the shock news that everyone here heard about Ricky Hatton earlier in the day. It has, I'm sure, had a profound effect on the City and possibly on the atmosphere for this match. But at half-time, it is Manchester City 1, Manchester United 0, and Steve Crossman is here with us just to our left.
We're going to hear from Amir Khan as well before second half commentary here at the Etihad on that awful news, the death of Ricky Hatton that we learned earlier today. So we will hear from him in the next few minutes or so. We will also hear from Scott Parker as well before second half commentary after Liverpool's 1-0 victory over Parker's Burnley side. Players have just walked off the pitch here then at the Etihad. Gigi Donnarumma was one of the last to go in that bright yellow goalkeeper's top. Jeremy Doku with a brilliant move, Dion. That first goal, I mean, Foden needed that goal. It was a nice header, but it was Doku, wasn't it?
Yeah, but, you know, I was watching the warm-up. Foden looked good, very busy, a lot of backslapping to his teammates. He was ready for this game, ready for this start. He's been wanting to get on the ball ever since the start of the game has taken off. He just finding great positions, and I think when Doku gets the ball at his feet, he's always going to take two players to stop him. He did his little shuffle and he does what he does, and the cross was into an area. Phil Foden on the edge of the box, seen that the cross was coming again. He decided to gamble to the penalty spot, just guided it to the right of Bayinda there, the keeper. Had no chance at all, but it's all about Doku this half. the energy of Foden, Rodri sitting in there doing what he does, the movement of Haaland as well is occupying the whole of the defence.
Which bit was a shake and bake?
The shake and bake, he looks like he's going to go to the left, but he goes to the right. You can't do anything about it, because if you don't take the dummy, he will go to the left. So you have to take the dummy, because, you never know what's going to happen. I'm just glad I've never marked him or never have to.
It's very clever, that, Dion. Are you going to tell the world who you've stolen it from, or just try and pretend it's yours?
It's me. You know why it's me? It's a basketball term.
It's from Talladega Nights.
It's a basketball term. It's a basketball term.
All right, is it basketball before Talladega Nights?
100%.
Well, we'll see what Will Ferrell has to say about that.
Yeah, exactly. Will got it from basketball, he told me.
The funny thing was, John Murray, what you said was, there'll be kids asking their parents, what are they talking about? I think it might be parents asking their kids.
Well, I was actually referring to Shake and Vac.
I see. Right.
Was what the kids would be asking their parents about. What the question of the day, what is Shake and Vac? That'll be trending, Steve.
It's 1-0 in the derby, we can tell you that much. Maz Faruqi, what's happening in the rugby?
Well, better from Scotland in this second half, Steve. A period of sustained play, but they simply aren't able to convert that into points. That early penalty from Helen Nelson that put Scotland ahead in the early minutes of this quarter-final feels like an awful long time ago now. England on course for the World Cup semi-finals. Yet again, we played 55 minutes. England 33, Scotland 3.
Oh, we've got a massive second half ahead of us here at the Etihad in this great sporting city. If you ain't first, you're last. So we'll see what happens when the teams come back out. As I say, Scott Parker on the way as well. The rugby is on 5 Sports Extra if you want to listen to it, and you can watch it on BBC One. Let's get the news on 5 Live with Richard Foster.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Tributes are being paid to Ricky Hatton, who's died at the age of 46. Police say he was found at his home early this morning and there are no suspicious circumstances. The 8-weight world champion Manny Pacquiao says he's deeply saddened by the passing of not only a great fighter, but a brave and kind man. The Commonwealth boxing champion, Stacey Copeland, spoke to Ricky Hatton just a few days ago.
He was meant to go out and sign the contract this week for his comeback fight in Dubai. He was an idol for many youngsters. All of us growing up looked up to Ricky Hatton, of course. It was his following that was so special, and that's what's going to make this particularly devastating for people. They felt like he was one of them.
The Prime Minister's condemned assaults on police officers during yesterday's rally in central London, organised by the far-right activist Tommy Robinson. Sir Keir Starmer says people have a right to peaceful protest, but the UK's flag will never be surrendered for use as a symbol of violence. Virginia Giuffre's relatives say there should be a full investigation into claims that Prince Andrew abused her. She said Jeffrey Epstein introduced her to the Prince when she was 17. He's denied all the allegations. Virginia Giuffre's sister-in-law, Amanda Roberts, is asking why Lord Mandelson was UK ambassador to the US despite known links to Epstein.
He should have never been given that title. And there are a lot of people that are actively out in our governments, in politics, in our financial systems, that are actively holding their titles and positions. And we have to put the spotlight on them.
2 men have been arrested after 5 people were hurt in an explosion at a house in Bradford. It happened in an empty property last night. 2 neighbouring houses were damaged and a man, woman and child were treated for their injuries. Romania says a Russian drone has breached its airspace. The country's defence ministry says fighter jets were monitoring a Russian attack in Ukraine yesterday and were able to track the drone near Ukraine's southern border. And low pressure is sweeping in from the Atlantic, bringing strong winds and heavy rain across the UK. A yellow wind warning has been issued across Wales and most of England between 8 o'clock tonight and 6 tomorrow evening.
He scored goals, lifted trophies and broken records along the way.
It's a day to remember for Wayne Rooney.
And now he's got a podcast.
Welcome to the Wayne Rooney Show.
Wayne Rooney, Kate Hurd and me, Kelly Summers, break down the biggest stories in the Premier League and beyond.
Plus, we'll hear the funniest, wildest and most outrageous stories from Wayne's career.
I've never seen the manager go at someone like he did. No way someone's getting in, you just feel like saying, come on, leave him now. There's no way he could have played for Man United ever again. The Wayne Rooney Show. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
England lead Scotland 33-3 right now on 5 Sports Extra in the Women's World Cup quarter-final. Earlier today, France beat Ireland by 18 points 13. We're live from the Etihad. City leading United 1-0 in the Manchester derby. Before the game, there was a very powerful tribute to Ricky Hatton, with both sets of supporters clapping, both sets of supporters singing "There's only one Ricky Hatton." You'll know by now, I'm sure, the awful news from earlier today that he has died at the age of 46, former world champion boxer. Tributes have been absolutely pouring in. There'll be a podcast available on BBC Sounds for you that we're putting together, paying tribute. Steve Bunce was with us earlier, just giving a wonderful tribute to Ricky Hatton. So you'll be able to hear from him. Now we can hear from a fellow former world champion, Amir Khan, who's been speaking to the BBC about his relationship with Ricky.
I've known Ricky a very long time, obviously, looking up, watching his amazing, massive fights he used to have in Manchester Arena back in the days, and obviously then travelling all around the world and fighting the biggest names in boxing, from the Mayweathers to Manny Pacquiao's and everything. So he was a massive inspiration to me in my career. Not only that, he came to my wedding. He also came to me when I won my first world title. He was at the fight, giving me all the great advice I needed at the time. And it's just so sad because he was a very dear friend of ours. He's been to my house, I've been to his, and we used to always share messages together. And now recently he was going to go back in the ring again and do an exhibition fight against a friend of mine called Isa Alda in Dubai, that was. And I was going to be ringside there as well. And it's just sad because this just coming Monday, he was supposed to be in Dubai for a press conference where I was going to see him. But tragic news. I mean, for the world of boxing, not only for Britain, he was a massive name, and he's going to be definitely missed. I mean, what style he had. Pressure fighter, also brought the whole of Manchester to boxing. I mean, it's a big loss for us.
That's Amir Khan. So many tributes have been pouring in, as you can imagine, including from the likes of Phil Foden before the game, who scored the only goal so far of this Manchester derby. Manny Pacquiao, who of course fought Hatton in 2009, said this: "I'm deeply saddened to hear about the passing of Ricky Hatton, not only a great fighter inside the ring, but also a brave and kind man in life. We shared unforgettable moments in boxing history. I will always honour the respect and sportsmanship that he showed. He fought bravely, not just in the ring, but his journey through life." Ricky Hatton's former promoter, Frank Warren, said from making his debut in Widnes in 1997 to go on to win one of the most historic fights in British boxing history against Costa Tszyu in Manchester, Ricky will rightly go down as one of the modern greats of this sport. Eddie Hearn has said, "Everybody loved Ricky Hatton. May he rest in eternal peace." And I've just seen former England and Manchester United striker Wayne Rooney as well. He carried Hatton's belts into the ring before a fight with Jose Luis Castillo in 2007. He said he's devastated that Hatton was a legend, a warrior, and a great person as well. And as we keep saying, of course, just right now our thoughts are absolutely with those close to Ricky Hatton on this awful day. Alex Noren, by the way, if you were listening during first half commentary from here in the Manchester derby, you will have heard, has won the PGA Championship at Wentworth, doing so via a playoff. So let's get some more details from correspondent Ian Carter.
Yes, this was Noren's second win in England in 3 weeks, and the second time he has won this prestigious title, Steve. He did it courtesy of a closing 68 that matched Adrian Sadier to finish at 19 under par. There were 3 clear of Aaron Ryan, Patrick Reed. Noren won at the first extra hole, deft chip from the rough to create a tap-in birdie. Noren goes to Bethpage now as one of Europe's Ryder Cup vice-captains, having beaten 11 of Luke Donald's team this week. But the skipper will have been pleased with the closing showings of several of his team. Matt Fitzpatrick is 67, Tyrrell Hatton finished 5th alongside Fitzpatrick. John Rahm round in 66 today, and Rory McIlroy back on form. He fired a closing 65.
In the World Athletics Championships 100-metre finals earlier today, the women's was won by American Melissa Jefferson-Woods and the men's by Jamaica's Oblique Seville. England and South Africa's T20 series has ended 1-1 because the match today at Trent Bridge was abandoned without a ball being bowled. Celtic scored a penalty deep into stoppage time to beat Kilmarnock 2-1 at Rugby Park. In the WSL, Aston Villa won Chelsea 3. That's 2 wins from 2 for Chelsea. Leicester won Liverpool 0. London City Lionesses won Manchester United 5. Everton 0. Tottenham Tottenham 2. Sheffield United have sacked manager Ruben Selles, yet to win a game this season, lost 5-0 to Ipswich on Friday night. They have no points. Chris Wilder has been heavily linked with a return. The one game in the Championship today, big one, but it finished 0-0 between Southampton and Portsmouth. In the Premier League, Liverpool beat Burnley 1-0, courtesy of a very late goal indeed. Mo Salah from the penalty spot after Hannibal's handball. Let's hear from the Burnley boss, Scott Parker.
It was a performance we should be proud of. We've gone 2 games both in different ways in terms of the team I see at Old Trafford and how we needed to probably look, and then the team we needed to be today. And we've been denied points in both games in the dying minutes by 2 penalties really. So heartbreaking, of course it is, and that's definitely the feeling at this present moment in time. But I'm immensely proud of this group today, what they brought and what they needed to bring today. Today at times it was about survival. Today it was about heart. Today it was about digging in areas which you need to go to when you're playing against an elite team and a world-class team like Liverpool. And my players did every bit of that really.
Did you have any complaints about the late penalty?
I don't have complaints, but I do have complaints, but it's look, I came into this room like I came into the other room. I didn't really want to discuss it. It's 3 yards away. I get his turn, his arms come out. The ball's probably travelling at 80 miles an hour. I think the learning from me or for us as coaches is maybe we'll have to train defenders to have their arms behind their back.
Yeah, I think he thinks it's a penalty, doesn't he? That's Scott Parker speaking to Chris Sykes. 08085 909 693. Lines open for 606. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton once we're done here at the Etihad. Afternoon, Rob.
Afternoon, Steve. Listen to Scott Parker there. Burnley did well, but Liverpool 4 wins from 4. You know, the squad they've got, the squad they've built. You know, no need for Isak today either. You know, who can stop Liverpool? Burnley put up a good show, though, as Scott Parker says. And this game, I think if Manchester United can be a little bit braver, they've got a chance of winning it. There's so many defensively minded players on the pitch for Manchester United in this shape. If they can be a little bit braver, I think City's backline are there to be got at. You know, the times they've got in, they've done okay. If they can be braver, I believe in the second half, United can get something out of this game. But Phil Foden, that's his 7th goal in the derby in the Premier League for Man City. This will be a big win for Man City. Celtic. Was it a last-minute drama as well? Another penalty. Just watching Chris on the TV. He'll be with me later. Was that a penalty? Also, the handball rule is ridiculous, to be fair. And Sheffield United fans, who do you want as your next manager? Ruben Selles obviously has departed his role. Looks like Chris Wilder has been mentioned quite a lot. Yep. He's the favourite. You know, again, the hierarchy of clubs. What a good idea. Let's get rid of Chris Wilder, who got over 90 points. Let's bring in Ruben Selles, and then maybe 5 or 6 games into the season, bring back Chris Wilder. Wow.
Who knows, Robbie?
Yeah,
maybe
knows?
You know, maybe they'll go beyond the Championship. They could look at who's doing well in League One or League Two or the National League.
Yeah, they certainly could, but they won't be getting the Forest Green manager.
Will they not?
No.
Well, that's breaking. We need you to hear that, Rob.
08285 909 693, Steve.
Lovely stuff, Robbie. Thank you very much. Robbie and Chris, 606 08085 909 693. The lines are open right now, and as Robbie says, I have a feeling the next 45 minutes here at the Etihad may well dictate the tone of a lot of the calls. Lots more to talk about, as you've just been hearing. But let's enjoy this. Second half of the Manchester derby. City leading by a goal to nil. Dion Dublin and John Murray.
Thank you, Steve. Manchester United players have just made their way out onto the pitch. Still lots and lots of empty blue, some white seats around the stadium, particularly in the middle tier. We're still waiting for Manchester City. Manchester United are not going to make a change, so their team has started the match. Bayinda in goal, with Senna Lamans among the substitutes. Tom Heaton also on the bench today for Manchester United. Yoro, De Ligt and Shaw, the 3 central defenders. Mazraoui and Dorgu, the wing backs. Here come Manchester City now, being led out by Bernardo Silva. Manchester United's midfield 2 today, Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes. Casemiro on the bench, and then Mbeumo and Amad Diallo either side of Benjamin Sesko. And the Manchester City team, no changes for them either, Dion, I think I'm right in saying?
Yeah, I think so. It looks very much their starting lineup. Why would they change at the moment? They're not doing too bad.
So Donnarumma just giving high fives, and for the first time gets to go to the south end of the Etihad Stadium and is waving to the supporters behind the goal there. So far so good for him. 45 minutes without conceding. Donnarumma in goal, Husanov, Diaz, Gvardiol and O'Reilly, then Rodri with Phil Foden and Reinders either side of him, Bernardo Silva on the right, Jeremy Doku on the left and Erling Haaland up front. Foden the goal scorer. As we get ready for the start of the second half, Manchester United have packed the left-hand side of the halfway line. 5 players in a line on the halfway line as Mbeumo gets the second half underway, plays it back to Bayinda, who launches one, unsurprisingly, down the left-hand side, which is headed away by Manchester City out of play for a throw-in on the halfway line.
I think that was a little bit obvious, don't you?
Yes.
I mean, if you've got players,
exactly,
if you've got players that are going to go and attack it, then fair enough, but they've got Šeško and that's it.
So 1-0 it is, 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC joining us on this damp afternoon in Manchester as City in the sky blue shirts with that diagonal white stripe across the front this season play it forward for the run of Reinders, but Yoro does well, the 19-year-old, and then Mazraoui starting a match for Manchester United for the first time this season, plays it forward to Mbeumo, who then goes back to De Ligt in the middle of the 3. Back to Bristol in the quarter-final, Maz Faruqi.
Holly Aitchison has just converted her own try number 6 for England. It's just a matter of how many points they're going to get on the board in the last 15 minutes of this quarter-final. England 40, Scotland 3 now, John.
Flowing move for Manchester United, ends with Dogu crossing from the left-hand side, hit the defender, but he couldn't keep it in or prevent it from going behind for a corner. So Manchester United corner, Dion, and it's their second of the match.
Yeah, Bruno Fernandes with an in-swinger now, but good work again from Dogu down the left-hand side.
So Bruno Fernandes preparing to take this. Players grouped together, probably 8 or 9 of them actually, near the penalty spot. Then they all begin to head in different directions, crowding Donnarumma. Here's Bruno Fernandes' corner, which is headed away by Haaland, who got up high. Blonde head heading it away to the left-hand side, back to Bruno Fernandes, low ball in, Haaland's there again to swipe it away with his right foot to comparative safety. Amad Diallo back to the halfway line, still hundreds of people coming back to their seats, even though the second half is already into the 3rd minute. Manchester United again, Dogu as they attack towards their own section of supporters. Dogu's crossed to the near post, again it's Haaland who's there with a defensive header, throwing himself down, diving back into his 6-yard box. It's won back by Dogu though, angled to Amad Diallo, got a touch on that. Bruno Fernandes stabs it right across the penalty area with the outside of his foot, as he likes to do, and Mbeumo is able to take it out into the full-back position. Mazraoui then to Mbeumo, and then Bruno Fernandes into the penalty area. Mazraoui got a little touch on that but wasn't able to take it on. Back to Bruno Fernandes, his ball in. Haaland again with a defensive header, and Manchester United through Ugarte in the end go back to their goalkeeper.
It's not just me and Chris Sutton then can play do a bit of defending, as centre forwards. He did great there, Haaland. He knew the danger hadn't gone, so he stayed in to help his defence out, and he cleared the ball 4 times. Now he goes up the pitch.
Yes, 2 of the great examples of central defenders come strikers. Paul Warhurst was another one, wasn't he, from that time. Here is Mbeumo playing the ball forward for Mazraoui. I'm not sure he's going to get to that, slides in. Gvardiol came across, but no, they didn't get there before the ball went over the dead ball line, and actually the 2 of them collided, and I think Gvardiol, perhaps as he went to ground, I think Mazraoui might have just taken a bang of the hip on the side of his head. So
yeah,
it is.
Mazraoui actually slides, doesn't he? Tries to keep it in, but Gvardiol stays on his feet, and I think there's a clash of sort of head and hip, to be honest. Nothing wrong with him. He's up on his feet, which is good.
Applause for the City substitutes coming out to warm up to our left. Manchester City leading the derby by 1-0. Lines open for 6:06. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton back on a Sunday night. So 08085 909 693 to book your call with them. If you're a Liverpool supporter, Burnley supporter on the way back from that match, or Celtic indeed after their win at Kilmarnock. Or indeed if you're at the Southampton-Portsmouth match, as ball is played forward but the offside flag is up, so that's going to be a free kick for Manchester United. So 08 085 909 693, free from mobiles and landlines, hashtag BBC 606 or text 85058 at your standard message rate. Robbie Savage's Forest Green equalising with a very, very late goal against Scunthorpe to preserve their unbeaten record in the National League, as De Ligt plays the ball across the edge of the penalty area. Yoro, then Mazraoui, then infield to Bruno Fernandes. Just a 10-yard pass to Mbeumo, and then Mbeumo curls it forward for Dorgu. Dorgu, Huseinoff in front of him. Dorgu made as if to cross, and then lays it off to Bruno Fernandes. Groans from the visiting supporters, but it actually went to the captain. Now back to Dorgu inside the penalty area, tried to turn, too congested in there, and Rodri was able to put in the challenge, and Manchester City got it away, but Manchester United on top.
Well, yeah, with the possession they are. Final pass again, Dorgu just making the wrong decision, gets himself into what I would consider a shooting position, 15 yards out on the angle, and it just takes a touch too much. Rodri nicks it off him, but when you see a half chance, take the half chance, don't try and take the full chance or make it into a full chance.
The Manchester United supporters in the three tiers at that end making themselves heard, but then that goal goes wrong for Amad Diallo. Trying to play it forward, overhit it, and it's all the way through. And Bruno Fernandes down there just touches the bottom of his beard as he walks away and takes his seat in the dugout. Pep Guardiola, just as he likes to do. Erling Haaland was over here on this side of the field, and the two of them having a conversation together. But again, it's really yet to properly get going. The moment of the scoring of the goal is by far the highlight, as it's played forward downfield for Manchester City and straight out of play for a throw-in to Manchester United. Erling Haaland indicates where he wants the ball played in to his chest. He looks as though he's chuntering away to himself, doesn't he? Haaland with those big shoulders, blonde hair scraped back, the ponytail, and then another mistake, this time Mazraoui with the throw that Mbeumo miscontrolled straight out of play just in front of us. So O'Reilly will take the throw. Nico O'Reilly, who had to pull out of the England under-21 squad for their match in Kazakhstan, and therefore didn't go on that trip. Rico Lewis likewise, he's on the bench today. O'Reilly takes the second throw. Phil Foden, then back to O'Reilly, who slips the ball between the legs of Ugarte. Now Doku playing it through for Haaland. Haaland, passed by Inga. It's 2-0. Erling Haaland, fourth goal of the season for him, and Manchester City now have a clear lead in the derby match as Erling Haaland scores for the 7th time in the Manchester derby. And Rodri here turns to the Manchester City fans and says, come on, make a noise. 2-0 Manchester City.
I mean, that's good play from City. Nice patient play in between Foden, in between the lines. He plays a lovely little ball with the outside of his left boot into Doku now. Yoro is on the wrong side of Doku, he's on the outside of the play. Doku lets the ball roll inside him, inside the play, and then he just nudges it onto Haaland. The strength of Haaland. De Ligt couldn't stop him, he shoves him off the ball with his right hand, gives himself lots of space to finish with his left foot. It's a really good finish. It's actually Luke Shaw. I did say that was a mismatch. It was a mismatch on that occasion. And he finishes like he does. Just chips it over the keeper, cool as you like, in front of his own fans.
Another nice little assist for Doku, but
absolutely.
Haaland still had an awful lot to do.
Yeah, he did. He had to use his pace. He had to hold off Luke Shaw. He had to make sure De Ligt was off his toes. Doku had to make sure the pass in front of his centre forward was at the right weight, and he gets everything right. And Haaland's one of the best in the world at doing that. If there's a chance to be had, he'll take it.
Yeah, lovely finish on the left foot from the angle. Passed by Inda. So 2-0 to Manchester City. And Manchester United laboured as though they've been in this match. It's quite a stretch now to think that they might be able to get anything out of this. 2-0 down here against Manchester City. And City, who really barely figured in an attacking sense in the second half, But that chance for Haaland, sometimes he doesn't need too many chances.
No, he doesn't. He did make some good runs in the first half. Sometimes it does come. There was one where O'Reilly stopped it going through to him, but he'd made a run. He's made 3 or 4 runs in the first half, didn't get it. He'll always make those runs. It's down to his teammates to find him. Found him that time, and we know the outcome.
Yeah. So that is 4 goals, all in the Premier League for him this season. And of course he is in the groove after his 5 goals against Moldova in midweek. Scored in Norway's other match as well, so 6 in the international window. As Manchester United, De Ligt's given it away. Haaland through the middle, tries to go around Bayinda, and then he's hit the post. Still going. Bernardo Silva, then across the 6-yard box, and I'm not sure how that stayed out. That is remarkable. That almost defied the laws of physics. That Haaland, with that left foot shot, that it bounced and hit the post and stayed out.
I mean, again, it was slow play from United, and it was a bit of a Ugarte plays a patch which is blind, and then they just get on them. The light blue shirts are there. It's a little over. I don't know how he's missed it, to be honest with you, because if there's centre forwards in the world I want in that situation, he's 3 yards out on the angle. He's diving, and he puts too much on it. Yeah, he just hits the post. He just could have rolled it in the back of the net. No keeper, no defenders. It's not like him. He's in the mood again, though. He wants more.
Yeah, Reinders was there as well with
Absolutely.
him. Whether the presence of Reinders, I don't know, but he sort of barged his way round Bayinda, who went to ground, and then on the stretch just tried to direct it back into the goal, but as Dion says, just got it slightly wrong and hit the post, came out. Bernardo Silva couldn't, from an angle as well on the other side, couldn't finish that off. Nevertheless, it remains 2-0, and Erling Haaland just the 1 goal so far this afternoon. So that is 4 in the Premier League, which means that he's top of the tree already in the race for the Golden Boot. As Mazraoui to Mbeumo. Manchester United will be looking for a quick response here. Back to Mbeumo now. Bruno Fernandes lifts it in daintily. That's headed away by Manchester City up towards Haaland. And now Doku running forward with it over the halfway line, passes it forward. Haaland on the chase, and a sliding challenge from Shaw just gets there first to see the ball back to Bayinda. That was by the skin of their teeth. Luke Shaw and Manchester United were able to get to that ahead of Haaland. Manchester United come forward again. Dogu across the corner of the penalty area, back to Bruno Fernandes. His ball curled in, that's headed down by Gvardiol, and Manchester City have got it back inside their own half. And then forward from Foden, but that's way beyond Haaland, who just looks at that. Haaland looks at that ball as it rolls or flies past him with absolute disdain.
Absolutely. He's basically saying if there was a think bubble above his head, it would say, I've just ran 40 yards, I've got 140 yards back, I can't go again.
Think bubble, what was that?
Exactly.
So, as I say, 4 goals for City, 6 for Norway, so that's 10 for club and country already this season. Although Moldova have got a lot to do with that. Ball from the right-hand side, from Mazraoui, that's headed away for Manchester City. Yoro is able to win it back against Doku, and then Mazraoui back to Mbeumo. Mbeumo moving across the edge of the penalty area. He's challenged, and then there's a foul in centre field, and Reinders has gone down, and it's a free kick to Manchester City halfway inside their own half. So 2-0 it is, Dion.
Yeah, they're just taking charge of this game, City at the moment, especially in the middle of the park. Foden's enjoying himself. Doku's gone sometimes when they're out of possession. Doku goes infield a little bit closer to Foden. Haaland just occupies 2 centre halves as well, so that they know exactly what they're doing, City, making the pitch big, making Manchester United run long distances to close down.
Free kick to Manchester City. A little delay there as Doku does well actually against Mazraoui's challenge, plays it back into his own half. This, by the way, is Erling Haaland's 150th appearance for Manchester City today. That was his 128th goal. 128 in 150 in all competitions.
Yeah, I think he's got to pull his finger out if he wants to make a name for himself. I mean, those numbers are outstanding. I mean, he's playing with the best players in the world, but when those chances come along, it's not easy to put them away.
Manchester City trying to get into the groove as Ugarte slides across the halfway line and puts that out of play. Pep Guardiola suggesting that in fact, he comes to the edge of the area and he's clapping his hands, waving his hands at Donnarumma for some reason. He's all animation now. The Manchester City manager, Ruben Amorim, just walks forward, and it looks as though he's going to make his first change, doesn't it? I think Kobbie Mainoo's being called for, possibly Harry Maguire as well, who's running back towards the dugout. So a double change, but at 2-0 down, as we say, even though there's half an hour to go in this match. This a tall order for Manchester United, who have got the ball in the central third of the field. Yoro is in danger of losing it out to Foden, but just got it away to De Ligt, who is able to work it across. So yes, Harry Maguire is being prepared as Manchester United swing it out to the right-hand side to Mazraoui. They are peas in a pod, aren't they, those two? Mazraoui and Mbeumo starting a match together for Manchester United for the first time, shaven-headed, bearded, played forward by Mazraoui. O'Reilly is able to, with his left foot, clear it at the halfway line. Bruno Fernandes takes that down beautifully, actually, with the outside of his boot after it was headed to him by Yoro. Then Luke Shaw just works it to Dorgu. Dorgu's cross into the penalty area, and then a shot, from Mbeumo. What a save that was by Donnarumma, leaping to his right. That was right out of the PSG playbook from Donnarumma. Flung himself to his right and got his fingertips to it, and kept out what would have been a magnificent goal from Mbeumo.
Absolutely, it's a great strike as well. Left foot volley, curling in. Donnarumma done what he did at Villa Park many times, stopping Villa scoring certain goals. It's a really good fingertip down to his right hand side, seen it late, and he just palms it round for another Man United corner. But that's what he's come for, stop the ball going in the back of the net.
And that is a corner to Manchester United, but they're going to make the change now, and Yoro and Mazraoui are off, and as I said, Kobbie Mainoo and Harry Maguire coming on into the action. So I presume that means Amad Diallo will now play as the right wing back. But a corner for Manchester United, who are desperately searching for a goal back in this match. Bruno Fernandes into the 6-yard box, jumps off a City head and is cleared away at the back post to Doku, who's able to get it down, bring it away, although he's challenged by Kobbie Mainoo, and then the ball forward to Doku finds the Manchester United man in an offside position, so it's a free kick to Manchester City, who lead by 2-0 on 5 Live and the World Service. And you can also listen to the live radio via the BBC Sounds app. But Donnarumma, he's just had his best moment so far in a Manchester City shirt.
Absolutely. I mean, he looks very secure at the back there, even with the ball at his feet. What he has done, he's not had the ball at his feet for a long time. He's taken the touch and he's passed it. No time to put himself under pressure, keeping it very simple. That's probably why he's one of the best in the world. Doesn't make things difficult for himself.
Yes, not the first Manchester City goalkeeper in recent times to make their debut in the derby match. There's been a couple of them actually. Andres Isaacson and Claudio Bravo both made their debuts in the derby, and another City player who made his debut in the derby. This was pointed out to us by our BBC colleague Jordan Butler. Do you remember Mikhail Kavalashvili, who played for Manchester City?
I'd love to say yes, really, with a lot of confidence, but no.
Well, he did have a brief spell at Manchester City. He's now the president of Georgia.
Wow.
So
Steve's nodding his head by the side of me here.
Played in the Manchester City derby, now the president of Georgia. Here is Ruben Dias, slides in on Bruno Fernandes. Excellent challenge. Now City come forward. Bernardo Silva on the right, ball into the middle. Haaland with a shot, but it's straight at Bayinda, who's able to catch it. Caught it on the volley, probably above knee height, 10 yards out, but straight at the keeper.
I mean, it's great work as well. The ball is into Haaland in the middle of the pitch anyway. He just drops it into Rodri. Rodri just pops it into the space there, and I think it was possibly Guardiola going down the right, and he just gets into the box again. He always gives himself a chance just in case that ball falls to him, Haaland.
He does. 2-0 Manchester City lead. Foden in the first half, Haaland in the second. They love a goal against Manchester United, those two. Did mention in the first half that they both scored hat-tricks in the 6-3 here. Certainly not a flowing Manchester City performance yet this season, after all of the changes and changes off the field as well. And I see that Chicky Begiristan, the former director of football, is actually having his official farewell today after 13 years at the club. So he is here, and there are all sorts of nice words about him being said. A major part of the modern Manchester City and the successes that they've had. Ball with Donnarumma inside the 6-yard box, right footed out to the halfway line, and then Manchester United take up possession again. And do we presume that Donnarumma, as it bounces up and hits Harry Maguire's arm as he controls it, Manchester City fans onto Maguire, but referee Anthony Taylor decides to ignore that, and so Manchester City up towards O'Reilly, who volleys it forward. Shaw with a touch, Haaland standing in an offside position, now Maguire, and then Maguire passing it forward to Amad Diallo. That's the change that Ruben Amorim has made, bringing Amad Diallo back into the wing-back position, but he's in trying to lay off the ball, he's given it away, and Manchester City have got it back. So Jeremy Doku round the outside of De Ligt, couldn't keep the ball in. It's a throw into Manchester United. 25 minutes to play, 2-0 to Manchester City in the derby match here in Manchester. And in Bristol, the full-time score in the quarter-final, Maz Faruqi.
Yes, Scotland with a consolation try through Rona Lloyd at the end of the match, John, and a run to the last 8 for them is remarkable given the much publicised issues with many of the Scotland players' contracts. But as expected, it's England who complete the semi-final lineup, and they will play France here in 6 days' time for a place in the World Cup final. Friday's semi-final will be between the holders New Zealand and Canada. It's finished England 40, Scotland 8.
So 48 in the end. And Burma for Manchester United to the dead ball line. Challenge came in on him, but he was able to get the crossover to the near post, but Donnarumma was able to fall forward and scoop it up. So yes, listen out, watch out for that on the BBC next weekend. England against France, who won 18-13 against Ireland in the other quarter-final today. Earlier, lines open for 606 08 085 909 693 to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Dion Dublin alongside me here, watching Harry Maguire head it forward to Ugarte, and then Dorgu, Bruno Fernandes dropping back into his own half, curls it forward for the run of Dorgu. Husanov is there with him, keeps pace with him, and actually the ball bounces either off Dorgu or the corner flag, and Husanov was able to turn and run away with the ball, to the delight of the Manchester City fans in that corner of the ground. Up it goes to Dorgu, who spins away, goes down. That's not given as a free kick. Manchester City wanted it. Anthony Taylor says play on, so they do. Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes. Amad Diallo again in field to Mbeumo. Amad Diallo again to Mbeumo, a flick from him. Mbeumo, who must have thought that volley was goal bound, but Donnarumma suddenly appeared diving to his right and got a glove to it to keep it out. City win it back on the central third. Bernardo Silva forward for Haaland. Haaland's away from Maguire. Haaland shoots and scores. Bottom corner. That's 3-0. That's the end of this derby. And Haaland sits down. Meditation pose. 2 goals in the match. And Manchester City on the way to victory, 3-0 against their local rivals.
So pedestrian for Manchester United, playing slow, sloppy passing in the middle of the park. Haaland being left on his own, furthest player forward. That just cannot happen. Amad down the right-hand side with Mbeumo and Bruno Fernandes playing little triangles. Nothing comes of it. Organisation in possession was awful, Manchester United, and what do? Put it in front of Haaland, and he gets himself another goal. So simple.
Yeah, Harry Maguire putting the challenge in on Haaland in the centre circle, won the ball, But in winning the ball, it went straight to Bernardo Silva. Haaland, as a result, was on his own on the halfway line. One pass from Bernardo Silva. Harry Maguire tried to catch him. He was never going to.
No, and you know what, as well, John, the quality of Haaland, we know what he's like. We know how he finishes. The ball's in front of him. He's 50 yards away, 40 yards away from goal. He already knows what kind of finish he's going to use. He's preparing in his head, I'm going to keep the defender behind me. I'm going to put the ball on my left foot, open the goal up. I can go across the keeper. I can do the keeper with the eyes on the near post. Just clinical.
And really, it seems, without busting a gut, Manchester City are 3-0 up on Manchester United.
Better with the ball, John, quicker with the ball, more movement, potent centre forward up top that's had a lot of the ball and been very, very secure. Dangerous, very dangerous City in this mood.
3-0, and now for Manchester United, really, and for Ruben Amorim, it's quite important that this doesn't get seriously worse for them, because they've not. City have, depends what sort of mood City are in as well. You know, do they want to press on in this when they've got the Italian champions and Kevin De Bruyne coming here on Thursday night? This stage of the season, lots and lots of injuries, but there again, Manchester United are very vulnerable. And the ball being played back by Maguire towards the edge of his penalty area. Nico Gonzalez is going to come on. So with a 3-0 lead, it looks as though Rodri, who of course missed so much of last season and has been eased back in this season, it looks as though he's going to be straight off the field. You can see that one, obviously, for City. Played forward for Reinders, but that's beyond him. And Ugarte has got that back. So that's going to be the first change that Pep Guardiola makes. Didn't have to think too hard about that one.
No, I think it's a very good thing to do. Get that cotton wool out, put it round Rodri, and make sure that he plays as many games as possible from the very, very start.
And now you can hear the noise of the bucket seats being flipped up because the Manchester City fans are getting under their feet. 3-0 up against Manchester United, and they're giving them the Poznan and enjoying it thoroughly. And now, after that, the chorus of City, directed at the Manchester United fans. Ugarte tries to flick one through the middle to Mbeumo, but that's blocked away by City on the edge of the penalty area, and back to De Ligt now on the halfway line. So into the last 20 minutes, and Manchester City on their way to victory. You'll be able to talk about it with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton on 606 tonight, 08085 909 693. You'll be able to read about it on the football pages of the BBC Sport website. Bruno Fernandes plays it to Dorgu, who is able to chip a ball across to the back post. Amad Diallo takes it down, shoots, that's deflected out to the edge of the penalty area. Kobbie Mainoo, then back to Ugarte, takes a touch, shoots wide of the top right corner, and it's mocked by the Manchester City fans.
It's just a little bit sloppy from United, Amad there choosing the long finish. He decides to go with power, just try and steer that one to the bottom corner. Ugarte trying to curl, and he's miles away as well. Looked a little bit lost in the second half, United. Mbeumo's trying to do something. Bruno Fernandes, as always, he's trying to make something happen. But it's just not been right. Even when they've been in possession, they've looked a little bit vulnerable. Yeah. City haven't had to be at their best at all today.
No, they haven't. This is not one of the Derby mullerings that we've seen in recent seasons, where Manchester City have looked not only a class above Manchester United, but several classes above. United have been in the game. It's not been the best match by any means, but City, when the chances have come, they've taken them. Haaland's got 2 goals, and it's 3-0. Highlights on Match of the Day tonight. It's Kelly Cates in the seat tonight. Theo Walcott's on the programme. You can watch it any time on the iPlayer. And new this season, if you haven't heard, the highlights, Premier League highlights at the weekend, available from 8 o'clock on the BBC Sport website and app, and on the iPlayer. And the Women's Football Show will be on after Match of the Day. Here is Kobbie Mainoo, but Doku's able to run it away and then wins the throw-in near the halfway line. Pep Guardiola steps forward, Kolo Touré as well. And there's such a big change as well off the field with Kolo Touré and Pep Lijnders, part of the coaching staff, the former Liverpool coach. And Pep Guardiola again out to the edge of the coaching area with some instructions for Doku. He's almost telling him, coaching him right there on the side of the field. Comes across, chests it down, Ugarte gets it back, and it's played across to Luke Shaw. But the City fans now enjoying this. Shaw forward to Bruno Fernandes. Husanov slides in, gets there ahead of Doku. Bernardo Silva to Erling Haaland. Haaland, who is on a hat-trick once again, but plays it through to Reinders. Reinders is away from Shaw. 1-on-1 now. Wait, chips it across the face of goal. Past Bayinda. Thought that was a certain fourth, but it was just past the far post as he looked at it.
Yeah, Reinders, I mean, I am expecting him just to lift it over the keeper, but I mean, Doku is sprinting down the left. Like he's got smoke coming out of his boots. Doku trying to get there just to support his teammate, and he didn't get it on this occasion. He should have scored there, Reinders.
It's far too easy for Manchester City.
Oh, it is, yeah, without a doubt.
Here's Sesko, who had one chance early on. Sesko, weak shot from the edge of the area when Donnarumma performed that exaggerated save.
Yes.
And apart from that, he's not had a chance.
No, absolutely not. And I think that I wasn't sure how many runs he's made. Has he ruffled the feathers of the Man City defenders? I mean, as a centre forward, you've got to, your presence has got to be felt.
So we're going to see a couple of changes now for Manchester City. So Nico Gonzalez is going to come on to replace Rodri, obviously, but also Savinho is going to come on to replace Jeremy Doku, who's done well, set up 2 of the goals, and Rodri applauds all around the Etihad Stadium. Savinho, this is his first appearance of the season. He's had an injury issue, so he wasn't in the Brazil squad. There was a little bit of talk, wasn't there, about him moving on perhaps to Tottenham, but Doku gets a warm round, played well today.
Done really good as well. I mean, the problem you have trying to mark Doku, do you go close and then it goes in behind, do you let him have it and then he runs out? It's a real big dilemma for defenders.
So 3-0 it is to Manchester City, free kick to Manchester United, and we're into the last 15 minutes now here as the sun tries to come out. Wasn't expecting that. Joshua Zirkzee, I think, is getting himself ready. Bruno Fernandes, free kick long to the edge of the penalty area. Maguire heads it across, that's headed away by Diaz. Back to Bruno Fernandes. He takes this down and then curls one into the box, taken down by Mbermo, but under pressure, and Haaland is there to volley it away downfield, out of play for a throw-in to Manchester United, halfway inside their own half. Zirkzee coming on, and where's this going to leave Manchester United, Dion? Back to square one?
Yeah, well, I'd like to say scratching their heads, but they're not really scratching their heads because they should know exactly what they've done wrong today. From what I've seen, they've been a little bit sloppy in possession. Organisation in possession and out of possession has been poor. Leaving Haaland furthest man forward is just ridiculous.
No European football this season, so there's plenty of time to work on this during the week, but next weekend it's Chelsea at Old Trafford. It's one of our 5 live commentaries next weekend, the Saturday 5:30 match. Ball played forward for Dorgu down the left, but Husanov gets there first. Done quite well at right back, I must say. Gonzalez. And then it finds its way all the way back to Donnarumma. What will round this afternoon off perfectly for Manchester City is if Donnarumma and the defence are able to keep a clean sheet here today. And he has launched it downfield. Zirkzee and Casemiro coming on for what will be the second double change for Manchester United. 3-0 to City. 08085 909 693 to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton on 5 Live on 606. And Kobbie Mainoo is able to break away from the halfway line. Mainoo taking it on towards the edge of the box, laying it off to the left-hand side. Dorgu's ball across, but the outstretched leg of Husanov takes all the pace off it, and it bounces up very kindly for Donnarumma to catch and then take the ball out towards the edge of the area. Anthony Taylor tells them that he's on the clock, so he just drops it at the feet of Gvardiol. Nico Gonzalez. Savinho, heavy touch there. Manchester United win it back, a little rusty, I think. Savinho, and back to Kobbie Mainoo, and then back towards the halfway line for Manchester United. So yes, United, Chelsea at home, Brentford away, Sunderland at home, and it's Saturday. So, as I say, he has time to work on it, but the clock is ticking. Here's Dogu. Dogu's ball right across the penalty area, and Burmo goes for the volley on his right foot, but skies it from the angle, high over the Manchester City goal, and the whistles and the jeers from the Manchester City fans, and we will now see this latest double change, and that's it for Sesko. Not the best afternoon.
Is he coming on?
Sesko's off, and Xerxes is on, and Ugarte is onto the field as well. Casemiro trots on then, the 33-year-old Casemiro into the midfield, who actually didn't play in Brazil's second match in the recent World Cup qualifiers because he was suspended, got himself suspended, therefore didn't have to go to Bolivia to play in El Alto, which I spotted this week is the largest, highest city in the world, El Alto.
Wow, John, your knowledge is outstanding, sir.
I read it on Wikipedia, do you have to confess, but El Alto looked like quite an exposed place on the photograph on the Wikipedia page. I thought you could see the snow-covered mountains in the distance. Anyway, Casemiro didn't go there and was able to return early. Now he's into the fray here, but there's not a great deal he can do about this. He's wearing gloves. I think they're the first gloves I've seen this season. He maybe had them for El Alto and didn't need them. Here is Amad Diallo now on the right-hand side. Goes infield. Casemiro allows the ball to run, catches up with it, and then a right-footed ball out to Amad Diallo, who chests this down. Back to De Ligt. First time ball in from him. That's headed down and away by Gvardiol. Headed square by Casemiro. Hiked up in the air by Luke Shaw, who's then challenged by Gonzalez. Xerxes takes this down, but City are able to clear it away on the edge of the area. I have to say, it's looking rather powder puff, this Manchester United attack. But Amad Diallo is able to get this ball under control, plays it into Mbeumo. Mbeumo attempted ball into the box, that's blocked by Gvardiol, and Mbeumo goes for goal, and it bounces wide of Donnarumma's right post, just about at full extension, but I think he knew it was bouncing wide.
Yeah, it was a difficult skill. He's actually running back towards his own goal, then he just spins as if to say, maybe I'll catch the new signing off guard, but Donnarumma seeing it past the post, and Mbeumo there with his left foot not really affecting the keeper's heart rate at all.
So 3-0 it is, and Manchester United, having spent £200 million on their new strike force, making little impression. Of course, there's no Cunha today, and I would say that he's probably been the brightest to my eye of the three of them. So he's out injured.
I would agree.
But even so, it was expected to be better than this. 3-0 down. Amad Diallo, but that is cut out by Savinho. However, he slips, and then Phil Foden is in to win the ball back for Manchester City, and gives the ball for Haaland to chase against Maguire, who's having a look over his shoulder as Haaland gets closer. Maguire passes it back to Bayinda, who runs with it out to the edge of the area, lays it off to Shaw. Haaland is still very interested in this and hares around after Shaw, who gives it back to Bayinda, and Bayinda to the halfway line. Are you expecting Dion Senna-Lamens to play against Chelsea next weekend, do you think?
Yeah, I'd have thought so. Most definitely. You've got to, if you've got new signings in, you're going to have to air them at some stage.
Here is Amad Diallo getting it down, running at O'Reilly into the penalty area, beats O'Reilly, right-footed shot across the goal, deflected wide. And Mbeumo is standing in the 6-yard box. I think it hit him, then was deflected wide and behind for a corner.
I'm trying to figure out what happened there. I mean, Amad does great down the right-hand side, lovely little bit of skill, beats his man, goes down the right on his right, and it's actually Mbeumo who puts the ball wide. I'm not sure if it hits Donnarumma's ankle to go out.
Donnarumma.
Yeah,
I don't think he knew anything about it.
It's actually a save.
It is a save, yeah.
It's a good save.
Yeah, he's standing next to the post I mean, he didn't know anything about it. It hit him and skewed wide of the post. So it's a corner to Manchester United. City winning 3-0, 5 live in the World Service from the BBC. Corner to be taken by Mbeumo. Left-footed, deep under the back post. Donnarumma comes, stretches, and Bruno Fernandes shoots right across the face of goal. And Casemiro, I mean, he stabbed at it, came at him quickly, but couldn't direct it on goal, and it's wide.
I think he may have been a couple of yards offside, yeah. He just stays in there, doesn't come out with the sky blue back four, stays in there. The swing of the boot from Bruno Fernandes from the edge of the box. He may have been onside, actually. He may have been onside. There was one blue shirt there, so he would have been onside if he connected properly.
However,
he didn't.
No, it hit him just below the knee and flashed wide. Oscar Bob is going to be the next. I shouldn't get them mixed up now, because Rico Lewis has had a very severe haircut, whereas Bob hasn't, which is a massive help. Oscar Bob's going to come on as the next City substitute. Manchester United trying again. Amad Diallo, Kobbie Mainoo's ball across, looking for Xerxes, headed out. Dorgu, right foot, high over the top of the bar. Another chance comes and goes for Manchester United.
Yeah, and it's the finishing. It's not calm. It's rushed. It's not composed. They're not choosing the right kind of finish, which is low down to the keeper's feet. He's a big keeper. Try and get those in the corners, down by his feet. Thrashing at chances today, Manchester United. I can see the manager's face on the screen in front of me. His hands on his beard as if to say, what have I got to do here?
Sacked in the morning. They were singing that to Ange Postecoglou yesterday, weren't they? Now Ruben Amorim. Well, this is going to be 31 Premier League games as the Manchester United manager, and 31 points. So a point per game, not good enough for the manager of Manchester United. As Kobbie Mainoo slips, Foden plays it forward. Savinho gets there ahead of De Ligt down the left-hand side. De Ligt forces him to play it back to Foden. Going to see Nathan Ake come on as well for Manchester City shortly. Husanov now over to the right-hand side to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva then challenged by Dorgu, goes down. And the referee says we'll have the changes now. So that is it. No hat-trick for Erling Haaland then. And he looks a little disappointed to have seen his number go up. But that's not a bad week, is it? 6 goals for Norway during the international window. And now 2 for Manchester City today, taking his total against Manchester United, his total in derby matches, to 8 goals, and reaches the halfway line and embraces his international teammate. Pep Guardiola's not finished with Bob yet, who was making his way onto the field, but he's called him back for some more instructions, and also being withdrawn Bernardo Silva ahead of the Champions League match in midweek with Nathan Ake coming on, so there'll be a little reshuffle there for Manchester City.
I mean, players in sky blue shirts coming off really haven't had to do a lot. Bernardo Silva just being secure in there. Phil Foden's played well today. Obviously Haaland's done what Haaland does all the time, which is score goals and take chances, but they've done what they have to do today, City, just to get over this bump in the road.
It's not been a classic Manchester derby by any means, but it is a very good result for Manchester City. And we've got just 2 minutes of the 90 to go, then added time to follow. There's lots of live sports still on the BBC tonight. NFL on 5 Live and Sports Extra from 9 o'clock. Major League Baseball on the iPlayer tonight. Tomorrow the final round of County Championship cricket, so you'll hear that. All of the matches live on the BBC. You'll find the live coverage from all of the local radio stations on the website, on the cricket pages. Surrey are playing Notts in the morning, the top 2. And as I say, Champions League commentaries Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, starting with Arsenal in Bilbao, 5:45 Tuesday. So join us for all of that. As Manchester City come forward looking for a 4th goal. Bob, though, goes back to the halfway line. And here is Gvardiol, who turns and is able to play it back to Diaz under pressure from Xerxes. Manchester United, I mean, they've had attempts on goal, and that's actually that has racked up in the second half. And coming into this round of Premier League matches, they'd had more attempts on goal than any other team in the Premier League this season. But it's been wayward, and when it hasn't been wayward, Donnarumma's kept them out. Here is Amad Diallo, just keeping the ball in on the halfway line in front of Amorim. Casemiro, and Bruno Fernandes, back to Mbeumo. Bruno Fernandes carrying the ball across the pitch, forward of the centre circle, then back to Casemiro. Casemiro curling one out to the right-hand side. We now actually do have bright sunshine on the Etihad Stadium. Back to De Ligt. Manchester City behind the ball, comfortable with this 3-goal lead. 90 minutes are almost up here. 08085 909 693 to call 606. Amad Diallo onto his right foot, pulls the ball across. That's half cleared away by Diaz. Comes out to Casemiro, takes a flick off the head. Mainoo works it back across to Mbeumo, but then it's cleared away by Manchester City, out of play. And in fact, there was an offside flag up in there as well. So almost done, Dion.
It's just I'm disappointed in United today with it being such a big game. Local rivals, biggest rivals, along with Liverpool as well, and they've just really not moved the ball quick enough. I know it's at the end of the game now, but they've had a chance in the first half to do this. 1 and 2 touch really gives City something to think about. They haven't. Šeško really didn't do anything, and now they've had to make really sort of desperate subs to try and make a change. And City haven't really been great. They've taken their chances. They've been a bit more organised. Foden, Doku, Haaland have been the difference.
Yeah. And now they come forward again. Reinders through to Phil Foden, who's managed to find some space past Maguire. Then it's Reinders drives it across the 6-yard box. I'm not sure Huseinoff will keep that in. No, he won't. It's out of play. Good play from Foden. That's the Foden that everyone wants to see.
Absolutely, being very dynamic in that final third, making decisions.
As Bob can't keep the ball in, goal kick to Manchester United. So we're into added time now. Manchester City on the way to victory, 3-0. The television cameras inevitably, Dion, I noticed, picked out Jim Ratcliffe, who was stroking his chin, sitting in the stands somewhere in one of the middle tier in the middle tier here at the Etihad Stadium. And Manchester United in possession inside their own half. As Erling Haaland is named as the home man of the match, and Xerxes carrying it forward to the edge of the area. Lots of sky blue shirts in front of him. Plays it square to Amad Diallo again. So different in this match last season. Plays it back. Casemiro shoots. That's blocked inside the penalty area. But Diaz is able to turn and play it away. Shaw heads it forward for Casemiro, but he's got 2 Manchester City players on them, and back it goes towards the halfway line, and Manchester United will start again. And Haaland has certainly made the difference today with his 2 excellent finishes. Doku setting up for the first one, shrugged off Shaw as Bruno Fernandes plays it into the penalty area, but Doku's header across bounces lamely wide of the goal. And yes, the second one, Bernardo Silva sending the ball forward for Haaland to run onto and finish well into the bottom corner. So 3-0 it is. Dion, Dublin.
I think the word lame that you just used there, John, sort of sums up Man United today. Been a little bit weak. No potency to their play at all. Defensively, they've looked a little bit all over the shop. I thought De Ligt's done okay, to be fair, today. But that is it. I can't see any players. Bruno Fernandes, as we know, tries to make things happen. But City have deserved it, only just. But they've deserved it through the chances they've taken. And United have got a lot of work to do on the training ground. They really have.
It's Dion Dublin, who was presented with his England legacy cap last weekend.
Oh, it was, yes.
Very proud moment.
It was, John, it was. I didn't know what number I was going to be. I'm 1085 I am.
Oh, yeah.
Which is lovely.
City win it back. Here's Bob inside the penalty area, bobbing and weaving. Then Foden with a shot, but he mishit it. And actually, Bayinda had to slide along the dead ball line because Savinho was in there. And actually, in the end, was happy to concede the corner against Savinho. So it is a late Manchester City corner. Yes, it looked fantastic, that legacy cap. I'm sorry I didn't see it close up. Red velvet, lots of piping.
It was really nice.
No,
that'll be in a glass case very soon.
I bet it will. But no, great thing to have. Corner taken by City. They take it short to Foden. One day he'll have his legacy cap as well. Throw in for Manchester United, though, that is taken by Bruno Fernandes, and that's it. Manchester United are put out of their misery here. Manchester City didn't have to be in top gear, but have won comfortably, and that is a very good bounce back for Pep Guardiola's team after the 2 consecutive defeats before the international window. But for Manchester United, it plunges them right back into the mire, and next weekend they've got to play Chelsea. But 1 goal in the first half from Foden, 2 in the second from Haaland, and as the sun comes out on the Etihad Stadium, I have no doubt that Manchester City will be dedicating this victory to the memory of Ricky Hatton. But City good winners, Dion.
Yeah, they were good winners today. Just had a little bit more quality, a little bit more organisation and want. I just feel that, at the back as well, Diaz and Gvardiol, that little bit of know-how into how to defend and making sure your fullbacks go when they're supposed to go, stay when they're supposed to stay, organise better. It's not traditional City, it's not the best City, but that's all they had to do today to get over the line, because United, I thought, were pretty poor today.
Yes, another result, another performance that does make you wonder where Manchester United are headed. But very satisfying day for Manchester City. Winners of the derby match against Manchester United by 3 goals to 0. And Steve Crossman is here with us inside the Etihad Stadium.
I think, Dion, I can half answer that question about where United are going based on this and based on what we've seen really since they did look quite good in the opening game of the season, that defeat to Arsenal, and that's nowhere fast, isn't it?
Well, on this performance, Steve, they're walking over to the fans now. United 2 on right. There's 3 tiers of Man United fans that have come across the city to support them. Their shoulders are all slumped over. They've come to their local rivals and they've been beaten by a clear margin of quality. And this is City as well, Steve. Way off it, by the way. They're nowhere near the City we know, but they are showing signs that they could be on the way back, especially Haaland. United back to the drawing board, back on the training ground, work hard again, as Amorim will say in his interview. But more players in a red shirt have to stand up and be counted and do more. Can't be the same players all the time.
Remember that old film Clash of the Titans?
Absolutely.
So Gianluigi Donnarumma and Erling Haaland hugging, and that's what it sort of felt like, 2 absolute titans coming together. And look, a lot of the headlines, if you like, will belong to those 2 because of Haaland's performance, because Donnarumma obviously was a big story making his debut, also made a big save. However, I think the City player who maybe was best of all was Jeremy Doku. He was fantastic today. You could see when he came off, Pep Guardiola really took a bit of time about giving him the old pat on the back.
Yeah, pat on the back and a big hug as well. I mean, Doku as well is one of those players, if you are ready for Doku, then you might be able to quash his fire. But today he got the ball to his feet, he knocked it in behind, and he went, and inevitably he won a lot of fouls, gets to his feet, and he turns you in trouble as well. So, and the thing about this is when Doku gets the ball at his feet on the left-hand side, Bernardo Silva gets the ball at his feet on the right-hand side. As a centre-forward like Haaland, you are on your bike, because they will find that ball in behind the defenders, and he's that strong and that quick that he'll get on the end of it and he'll inevitably score. So you've got to be really careful. You're right to point out Doku, excellent today.
The body language of the Manchester United players that John was just mentioning, they've just left the pitch in front of us here. It's almost like watching a computer game football team leave the pitch, because they're all walking identically. The shoulders, the slump. I mean, there was a lot of promise about, even in defeat, that first game of the new season against Arsenal. It really feels like it's gone the other way. Was Sesko definitely playing today, Dion?
Well, I've got to say to you, Steve, honestly, for half an hour, 35 minutes in that second half, I'm not sure how many touches he's had today in that second half in Man City's box. And I'm gonna come to his defence. How many crosses did Man United put in? How many times did he get the ball to his feet? Is it him? Is it the players around him? Maybe it's collective. They weren't good enough today, United. Sesko's got to be better. players around him have got to be better. The club's got to be better.
City players have been doing a lap of honour, and obviously Donnarumma stands out, not just because he's absolutely massive, but because he's wearing bright yellow. He's been punching the air as he walks around. He's now sort of walking towards us here in the main stands and clapping the Manchester City supporters. That one save was massive. Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, and it was a tough save as well. And Mbeumo caught it lovely on his left foot. It's curling in the bottom corner, but he just tips it around just for a corner. He does what he needed to do. The first half, I'm saying it's a showy save. He gets there early. He reads it and he bats it down for himself. So that's completely controlled. I mean, I'm gonna point out Gvardiol and Diaz again. Just by the way they marshalled it. I'm watching Diaz come off the pitch here. He's the first player off the pitch. He's clapping. That not conceding means so much to Diaz and Gvardiol and players like that and world-class defenders. I've done my job, lads. You go and win it. I'll make sure that nobody scores. It means so much to those defenders. It really does.
Well, Donnarumma, one really big save, and no real issues, John Murray, about, we talked about playing out from the back and what difference would it make. But didn't make any there. Is that Peter Schmeichel as well down there, I can see, with Donnarumma. He's even bigger than Big Pete. John Murray, there you go.
Yeah, he's enjoying that. Donnarumma, Peter Schmeichel coming across and having a good chat with him. That's a bit of goalkeeping pedigree there, isn't it? Peter Schmeichel and Gianluigi Donnarumma together. No, I mean, that was what we saw there was the Donnarumma that we saw time and time again defying the English clubs in the Champions League last season, and they continue to talk, and then a little embrace, and off he goes, and he looks very happy with the clean sheet, which is what he came for today. And he can't do any better than that as a goalkeeper to start in that way. But going back to the other end of the field, to compare Haaland and Sesko as the two centre forwards today, in terms of appearances for club and country this season, it couldn't be starker. For Haaland, 5 appearances for Manchester City and Norway, 10 goals. For Sesko, 7 appearances for Manchester United and Slovenia, and admittedly for United that's 2 starts and 3 substitute appearances, yet to get off the mark.
And I do understand the argument, Dion, and it's totally legitimate. If you look at Haaland and Sesko and think, well, they're there to put the ball in the back of the net, that means that you are, to a large extent, dependent on what your teammates do for you. However, it only goes so far, doesn't it? It doesn't give you everything. And Sesko was, barely mentioned in commentary, barely noticed by anybody here, I think.
Yeah, you have to bring something to the table. Unfortunately, in the second half, Sesko, I haven't seen enough of him. I'm going to hold back on giving him a hard time. Hard game to come into today, without a doubt. Here, especially as well. But me as an old number 9, I expect more from a number 9 playing for Manchester United. You have to hold the ball up. Gvardiol and Diaz looked as though they were on a park playing against Sesko today. You have to make it difficult for your defenders. Get them thinking, be physical, be horrible, and I didn't see enough of that. Hopefully it will come. If you can't do it in a game like today, you can be struggling.
Problem is, as you well know, Dion, as the Manchester United goal scorer, when you're brought in, it can weigh heavily on individuals, and has done over the years, whether it's recent history or going way back, whether you're talking about Rasmus Højlund. Diogo Forlan was one as well. And if you go way back, I remember Peter Davenport and Gary Birtles. And because it's happened in the past, people talk about it and you can't avoid it, and it becomes a thing. And the individual, I'm sure, cannot escape it.
No, and I totally agree, but the way the game's gone right now, it's more difficult for players like Sesko to score goals from crosses, because you have a left footer on the right and a right footer on the left, and they always chop back. When the ball went in the corner, when I was playing and you had Giggs on the left and Kanchelskis on the right, they would just cross the ball, and I can make the run I need to make in order to get on the end of that. As a centre forward playing for Man United now, I would have to make 10, 15 runs to get on the end of anything, because they don't cross it as much as they used to, or it gets chopped back into Bruno Fernandes. Give him a chance to score goals. That's what he's here for. Cross the ball.